Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are live streaming on Open Your Reality, Bend the Spoon, and the Kriya Yoga School channel. And our special guest today is Vedgurudev. Welcome to the live stream, Vedgurudev.
Thank you for having me, Chad. Welcome to all my beautiful YouTube live stream viewers out there. Welcome to our third Q&A.
Yeah, this is our third one in a row, and we keep getting questions from viewers. So I thought, let's just keep doing the live streams and answering these questions. And of course, we are turning them into shorts, and you can see them on your channel, the Kriya Yoga School channel. And you also have another channel, which is what? Just Vedgurudev?
Vedgurudev, yep.
Okay. I'll post the links below. Anyway, guys, let's get started with these questions. So the first question is, if you could ask Mahavatar Babaji any question, what would it be? I love these questions. So interesting.
Well, I wouldn't ask Mahavatar Babaji anything. I would thank him for the great job he's doing. Because if Babaji don't come to work, we're all in trouble. So he's done a great job teaching Kriyas, clearing the path for me. Before I came on the path of Kriya Yoga, I was a total mess. I was totally consumed with the material world. I was totally consumed in my ego body. Babaji cleared the path, laid the blueprint, put the breadcrumbs down to get me on the Kriya Yoga path. So Babaji is beyond questions, beyond words. So I would just thank him and bow to the Master's lotus feet. Thank all the Sitas and all the Ascended Masters and Mataji, everybody for all the work they've done, giving us this beautiful tradition of Kriya Yoga, Siddhanta. It's outstanding. It's changed my life forever, and it's probably changed millions of people's life around the world. So thank you, Babaji, for the great job you have done. Thank you for everything. What do you have to answer to me? Nothing. I work for Babaji. He doesn't work for me. I deliver Babaji's mail, and he gives me the mail to deliver. Babaji is driving my car, and I'm just witnessing him drive my body around. So thank you for the outstanding job you've done bringing Kriya Yoga to the world. Mahavatar Babaji. Jai Babaji.
Absolutely. Well, our second question is, what does spirituality really mean?
So spirituality is inside you as you. So spirituality is an inner journey. It's not an external journey. So it means realizing your inner self, being self-realized, self-aware, self-discovery, inside you as you, realizing your higher consciousness, realizing your oneness with God, that I am God and God is me. So it's really an inner journey. It's not an external journey. So if anybody's promising you spirituality outside you, it's probably not true. It's inside you as you, spirituality.
It's an inside job, which harkens back to the quote that I've been saying, which is, seek spiritual riches within. What you are is much greater than anyone or anything you have ever yearned for. That was said by Paramahansa Yogananda.
Well put, Yogananda. You're right. It's an inside job.
Question number 3. And by the way, guys, if you have questions, just leave them in the comment section and we'll get to them throughout the live stream. We're answering 18 questions here, but of course, there'll be more questions when you guys have them. So number 3 is, what was the most spiritual experience you've ever had?
Whew. Well, buckle your seatbelt. I'm going to take you on a ride right now. So, to make a long story short, the most spiritual experience I ever had is day 1 of me on the Kriya Yoga path. I went to Sri Lanka. I didn't want to go to Sri Lanka. I wanted to stay in Thailand and DJ. I went there and I had a spiritual experience. I started crying. My body started shaking. I was exhausting all my karma. All my chakras were blocked. All my nadis were blocked. So that was really the most powerful spiritual experience I had. It was this overwhelming, like, what's going on here? Like, why is this happening to me? I realized when I kept practicing Kriya Yoga, when I kept doing the sadhana, it got a lot smoother. But day one, it was a rough ride when I got on that roller coaster Kriya Yoga. Day one, and I realized that I'm a Kriya yogi. And it took me a while to, through the practice of the Kriyas and Kriya Yoga, to smooth it out and make it more easy and more relaxing and comfortable. But the first day, every single thing in my body was blocked. All my chakras were blocked. All my nadis were blocked. Everything. My body was an amusement park. On and on and on. So it was a rough ride the first day. So that was probably the most spiritual experience I've ever had. In Sri Lanka, it was a city called Katagarma, which was the exact city where Bhoganantar initiated Babaji into Kriya Yoga Pranayama. He was his guru for pranayama.
We have a couple of questions from viewers. Thank you for the question. So
great.
The first one is for me, and the second one is for you.
Great
question. Chad, do you have any guests lined up? None right now, but I think Howdy Mikowski might come back on. He told me that he was working on a book, but he said after April, May, he would consider coming on. So I need to reach out to him and see if he'll be available soon. But none other than him. Alice says, how do you know if your chakras are blocked? Hey, Alice.
Yeah, so you feel blockages, like you feel like energy is stuck in whichever chakra you feel. As you know, there's 7 chakras. There's the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the navel chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the eyebrow chakra, and the crown chakra. So if you feel like energy's kind of stuck there, then you might have a blockages. In our Kriya Yoga school, we have great techniques to unblock your chakras. So if you sign up to our school, it's only $25. There's an excellent video that shows you the sound syllables you need to say to unblock each chakra. So if you feel you have a blockage in any chakra, pay $25 and unblock your chakras. It's a lot cheaper than going to the doctor, and they probably don't know what's wrong with you anyway. So unblock your chakras for $25 at the Kriya Yoga School. Special right now.
We have the next question is number 4. Will Kriya Yoga teach me mastery of my soul?
Yes, you will be more self-realized. You will be more self-aware. You will realize that, like we said in the previous question, mastering yourself is an inside job. You will learn the techniques, how to go inside you as you, and master your consciousness and master your soul, and unblock all the junk that's blocked up in your body, and let all the divinity, the oneness flow throughout your body. So yes, Kriya Yoga has beautiful techniques to help you master your soul.
Yeah, there's another part of this question that is, if I was a musical instrument, how would I play music on my soul? How can I play the most beautiful, pure sounds that bring forth the greatest soul ever played?
Ooh, that's a good question. So you would play your soul like your soul basically plays itself. So when you realize your soul and you bring your soul to the forefront, it plays itself, and you just sit back and listen to the beautiful symphony that your soul has to offer. So you really don't have to do anything. You just have to clear out all the junk that's in front of your soul and bring your soul to the forefront. And throw away all the trash that's blocking your soul and let your soul come out and shine and listen to the beautiful symphony of your soul. It's the most beautiful music you could ever hear. So I like how that was presented. Play my soul. I'm going to play my soul every day of my life. The most beautiful music I've ever heard. My soul to the forefront.
Well, you are a world-class DJ. I mean, you did put your you put your heart and soul into your DJing career. So.
That DJ music is junk compared to the beautiful sounds of my soul.
We have a question from Miley, and one of the viewers is watching the live stream now. Hi, Miley. And
Hello,
Miley says, hello, my question is, what can we do if we get into a fearful mind situation, even though we have been mindful before?
When you get into a fearful state of mind, 80% of it is being aware that you're in a fearful state of mind. Once you're aware that you're in a state of fear, then you could do something about it. And you begin to realize being in a state of fear doesn't serve you. It's just junk. You just throw away the junk. Like, as a yogi, we always try to be fearless. We never want to be in a state of fear. We laugh at fear like the joke it is. Like, this is junk. This doesn't serve me. Why am I attached to this fear? You know, this is how people try to control you. They get you in a state of fear so they could get you to do stuff. They could get you to put stuff in your body that you don't want to. But when you're in a state of fearlessness, no one can tell you to do anything. You laugh at them like the joke they are. So anybody's trying to sell you fear and trying to get you in a state of fear, just go away from them and laugh at them like the joke they are. Like, yeah, okay. You know? Doesn't serve me. Fear.
Alice says, that's how I stopped having panic attacks. Okay.
There you go. Exactly.
It brings us to question number 5 on our list, which is, Vedgurudev, how has your relationship changed with your guru now that you are a guru to, if at all? Can you still call on your guru when you need guidance?
Yes, I could still call on my guru if I need guidance, but we kind of came to the end of our path, and it was time for me to graduate and go out into the world. It's like graduating high school. Like, I got you as far as I can. Now you got to go in the world and figure it out for yourself. Be in the world, but not of the world. So it's kind of like a push. Get out there and give Kriya yoga to the world. So we all got to stand on our own 2 feet one day. So I guess now is my time.
So it's like nobody can do it for us. Like you said, it's an inside job, but we can have a guru, a guide to give us the techniques to get there. So
exactly.
Yeah. You know, it has to be done for you. That's what Tom Campbell says in NBT too. Nobody could enlighten you. You need to do the work yourself. And that's what makes it so rewarding. That this is not easy. This path, the spiritual path, is a difficult one. It's an arduous one. It's filled with twists and turns. Sometimes you step off the path and you come back on. But overall, it's worth it because it's like Paramahansa Yogananda said. He said, or I should say, maybe it was Lahiri Mahasaya, but he says, anything you do in life is pointless if you're not searching for God. So,
well put. One of the most famous yogis named Patanjali said, the road to God is not a straight line, it's a zigzag. Sometimes you come on, sometimes you come off, but you got to dust yourself off, get back on the path. So it's not a straight line. Like you think you're just going to walk straight to God. That's not how it works. There are a lot of obstacles, there's a lot of resistance and in blockages in the way. So you just got to keep going. when you fall off the path, dust yourself off, get back on the path.
Yeah, if you think about it, if a disciple wants to work with a guru, most of the time, and if you look at the stories, the guru makes it quite difficult for the disciple to become a disciple. Because if it's too easy, then he would not value it. It wouldn't be anything valuable. So typically, the guru makes the disciple do many things to prove his loyalty, to prove that he really wants to go down the path. And there's many stories about that. I told you the one about Babaji, where I believe it was an American who was climbing in the Himalayas, in the mountains, and he finally found Babaji. And he says, please, I'll do anything to be part of your band, your small band of sannyasins. And Babaji said, well, go throw yourself off the cliff. And he did. And Babaji revived him, brought him back to life, and said, you've proved your loyalty. Now that's an extreme story there, extreme example, but you can look at it, look at the Karate Kid, right? It's spiritual karate, but the Karate Kid had to paint the fence. He had to do all these things. And yes, part of it was training, but in the beginning, he just thought, well, I have to paint the fence, I have to wax the car, I have to wax the deck. And, you know, that's how it is. So if it comes too easy, it's not valuable. Question number 6 is, Vedgurudev, have you ever attended the Kumbh Mela festival? Maybe you should explain
Yes.
what that is first.
So the Kumbh Mela festival is a big festival where all spiritual enlightened beings, sadhus, yogis, lamas, swamis, anybody who's spiritual in India, they go to the place of where they have the Ganges River, and they bathe themselves and they wash away, they purify themselves, they cleanse themselves in the river. I have been to the Kumbh Mela. I was at Hardwar, and that's where the Ganges is in Uttarakhand. It's close to where my guru's ashram is, in the state of Uttarakhand in India, in the Himalayan mountains. And it's a beautiful festival. All the enlightened beings converge at one time, and it's full of colors and full of divine energy all around. And they do their satsangs, and they sing bhajans, they sing songs, and they have bhakti. They're praying to God. So it's a great festival of spirituality and higher conscious vibrations during the Kumbh Mela.
Yeah, and I think that was also talked about in Autobiography of a Yogi, right? That's where Paramahansa Yogananda went to meet some of the great spiritual beings he had never seen before.
Exactly. They all converge at one place. So you can meet sadhus, you can meet swamis, you can meet gurus, you can meet yogis, you can meet all different enlightened beings. They all converge at one time. And so it's a beautiful festival of divine energy.
If you want to meet your guru, that could be a great opportunity to find one right there.
You just might find your guru at the Kumbh Mela. He might be there waiting for you.
Do you know what time of year they do it? Is it the summertime or the winter?
I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Okay, may have to look that one up. Or viewers, look that one up and let us know. Because I know they do it every year, but I'm not sure the month. We have a comment, or actually a question from Mila again. Thank you. That was beautiful. My second question, how can people differentiate between the soul and the ego? What is what, if that's possible to explain? Great question.
So the soul wants nothing. It just wants you to be a better person. Ego has attachments. It wants you to do stuff. It wants you to be in a state of fear. It's consumed by materialism or money. So how you could differentiate the soul just wants to shine. It just wants to be free. It just wants to come to a higher vibration. You know, I like saying sunbathe in the divine light of your soul. So your soul doesn't want anything. So anytime you hear anything that wants something, it's probably your ego. When it doesn't want anything, it's probably your soul. So that would be the easiest way to differentiate. Ego wants you to do stuff. It wants you to be fearful. My guru used to say, the ego's money is fear. So it wants you to be in a state of fear so it can have money. It's like a tasty cake, the fear of the ego. So anytime you have an inner voice that wants something, it's probably your ego more than likely. Your soul doesn't want anything. It just wants you to be free. It just wants you to be happy. It just wants to be in a blissful state. So sunbathe in the divine light of your soul, my friend.
Yeah. And we have a comment here from Sandy who says, we're not jumping off of cliffs for you, Chad. Huh. She's joking, but no, I'm not going to ask you to jump off cliffs. I'll just ask you to click the like button, subscribe, and make sure your notifications are turned on. It's a lot easier than jumping off a cliff. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Join the Kriya Yoga School too. It's only $25. It might change your life forever.
We have a comment from Threshold Moment. According to Ramana Maharishi, nothing exists outside of the self, and all is a projection of the self, and so that would include gurus. Well, that harkens to simulation theory. You could say the same thing. Nothing exists except consciousness. So this computer doesn't exist. Your phone doesn't exist. Your body doesn't exist. Yes, we know that, okay? It's all Maya. It's a play. Consciousness, according to at least Tom Campbell, who I've predicated my channel, Open Reality, off of, says that there is nothing that truly exists. Consciousness is the only thing that exists. Consciousness is your personality, your memories, it's your emotions. It's in here. It's not something that you can touch. It's not tangible. So, and also I wanted to go back to that prior question you just answered, Vedgurudev. Tom Campbell would say, the soul is the individuated unit of consciousness. It's a piece of the larger consciousness system. It's pure consciousness, and it doesn't reside here on earth. But you break a piece of your soul off, and you experience earth life through what he calls the free will awareness unit, and that would be like your ego. So the free will awareness unit is the ego that you use to interact in the earth world. And once you die, that ego goes away. And then you just merge back with your individuated unit of consciousness, or your soul. So your soul is always there, and the ego is temporary. Temporary, when you die, the ego disappears, disperses, and you just remain a soul again. And if you want to reincarnate again, you develop another free will awareness unit or ego. You live that life, you die, goes away again. That's the way I see it. I wanted to address a comment here by Threshold Moment. Chad tells us that we need to look outside of ourselves for a teacher guru, and yet he's only doing that because they want to make money off of this. Well, I'll tell you something, Threshold Moment. The thing is, if you want to do anything in life, if you want to be a great tennis player, if you want to be a great composer of the piano, if you want to be anything, if you want to be a great business person, would it be wise to lock yourself in a cave and be completely by yourself and try to come up with this knowledge on your own and reinvent the wheel? Or would it be better to have a mentor? And if you look at every successful person, I don't care, across the board, they all had a mentor. And if you look at every successful business person, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, you go down the line, they all had mentors, and they all talk about mentors. And that's what a guru is. It's a mentor. So I'm not saying that you can only be enlightened by going outside of yourself. I'm saying learn the techniques outside of yourself. Learn the techniques that were created thousands of years ago by these master yogis that were passed down through tradition. Learn them, and then you don't need the gurus after that. You can just go ahead, go into the cave, you have all the techniques, and you can practice. Okay, but it's always good to refer back to the guru, because we have people in our school who have been practicing Kriya Yoga, people like Brian, who's one of our longtime students in the school. and he always has questions for Vedgurudev. And he knows a lot of these techniques. Same thing for a tennis player. Why does the greatest tennis player in the world, like Novak Djokovic or Nadal or Federer, why do they have a coach? Why would the greatest player of all time need a coach? Because even the greatest need guidance. So we have this school. We give a lot of our time in the school and a lot of value. We charge a low amount for initiation fee, and that's it. You know, that's like I said, you've got to have a little skin in the game. You know, if everything was free in life, you wouldn't value it. Vedgurudev, I'll just pass the baton to you here on this one.
Yeah, and it's only $25, and it could change your life forever. And it's way cheaper than going to the doctor or flying to India to find a guru. Just try it out. See if Kriya Yoga is for you. If it's not for you, it's okay. It's not for everybody. But if it is for you, like one day maybe we'll have our members come on here and they could give their own personal testimonials. How they've been able to overcome their health problems. How they've been able to overcome their emotional problems. How they've been able to overcome and detach from everything. So this Kriya Yoga, we have proven testimonials that it works. So if you don't believe us, just try it for yourself. If it works, great. Stay as a member. A lot of our members didn't believe like you don't believe. But they signed up, they gave it a try, and now they're on the Kriya Yoga path. And they've never been more healthy and happier in their life. And we could bring numerous members on here that could give testimonials. Maybe one day we will. So just try it out for yourself. Instead of being negative and saying, oh, they're just trying to get money, they're just trying to do this. I guarantee you we didn't do this Kriya Yoga school to get money. We could have did a lot of other stuff to get more money. We're doing this to help people and help people overcome their health problems, help people overcome their emotional problems, help people detach from their materialism, from the external world, everything. We just had a beautiful fire ceremony where I burned up all our members' problems in the holy fire. So they're letting go. Even Chad's girlfriend has a good testimonial. She used to have a bad cough every day. Now I burned up her cough in the fire. Now she says it's almost 100% gone. So
yeah. I can be a testament to that because her cough was really annoying. It's because it wasn't just it was a loud cough, and she would cough often. And it was funny because once Vedgurudev started, we have this Yagna fire ceremony where Vedgurudev sits around and he reads off the name of our students, their location, and their problem. Now, if they want it private, that's fine. He doesn't say it. He just says a little prayer. And then he just offers it to the fire and burns it up and says, all your troubles are gone. So a number of our students say it's working, but my girlfriend particularly, and I see her cough has almost went completely away. As a matter of fact, the last time I was with her, she didn't even cough. And she says that the more Vedgurudev does the fire ceremony, the better it got. So there's that, you know, and is it psychosomatic? Is it, you know, really Vedgurudev? Is it a combination? I don't know, but if it works, it works. And so some of the other students
yeah, exactly. If it works, it works. $25, you can't do anything at a doctor for $25. You could barely buy a stick of gum in America for $25. So just do yourself a favor. Your body, your soul, your consciousness will thank you. Join the Kriya Yoga School. Only $25 now. It probably is going to raise soon. So get in today and change your life forever. Get on the Kriya Yoga path.
Yeah, and we're there too. So you can be on. We have live calls, so you can be with us on those live calls, talking to me, talking to Vedgurudev, asking questions. These questions that we have here, a lot of them come from our students. So the next question, Vedgurudev, is it's kind of a long one here. If a spiritual retreat or school was manifested near your home in Thailand, so you're in Thailand, to have students come visit for further spiritual teachings, is that something you would be interested in?
Yes, definitely. That would be beautiful to have our own spiritual retreat. My house is basically an ashram, so have my students meet me in person and come be at my ashram and sing songs around the Yagna fire and see where I film all these videos and everything would be a beautiful experience. So I would love that very much. That would be great. I hope that does happen one day. That would be outstanding. To feel all my students' energy in person and see their smiling faces and their happy faces and their testimonials out their mouth right in front of me would be outstanding. I couldn't think of anything, a better blessing than that.
Well, there's more to that question. I don't know if it's a question, but it's a comment to it. If so, this same person says, if so, I volunteer to be the resident chief, or actually resident chef, for room and board. Also, Chad, I've got you covered. I will procure the best ground beef, pork, eggs, tallow, and Himalayan salt. I know the recipe by heart. Thank you. I appreciate that. You've named all the food that I eat. That's exactly correct.
We're all set. Let's do it.
Question 8 here is, Vedgurudev, what do you find challenging or dislike in your role as a guru? Are you lonely? What would you like people to know or understand about you and your journey?
What would I like somebody to understand about?
What's the first part of the question is?
Yeah, what's the first part of the question?
Yeah, every time there's a question that has like 3 questions, it's always difficult to remember all of them. But what do you find challenging or dislike in your role as a guru?
Okay, I'll answer that first. So, basically, I don't like to be on a pedestal. Like, I don't like people to, like, look at me like I'm higher than them. I'm just like you. Like, there's no difference between me and you. I've just done the inner work. So I don't like that people try to put me on a pedestal and they try to make me higher than them, because I'm just like them. So that's probably what I don't like about being a guru. But what I like about being a guru, I like helping people. I like doing selfless service. I like passing on the information. The way my teacher helped me is the way I like to help other people. So that's what I like about being a guru or a Kriya yoga teacher, however you want to define it.
And the second part of that question is, are you lonely? Do you feel lonely in your life?
No, since I've been on the path of Kriya yoga, I've never been lonely. Babaji is driving my car, and he's with me every day. So I have company with Babaji and Mataji and all the Sitas. They're always here with me. They're always around. So I never felt lonely at all. All my ascended masters are around me. So I feel happy. We're like a big soul family. So a big Kriya yoga family. So I like the picture with has Babaji and all the ascended masters sitting around the campfire. I like to think of myself sitting around the campfires with all the great Kriya yogis from past, Yogananda, Lahiri Messiah, Yukteswar, Babaji, Mataji, all the Sitas, Bhoganantar, Agastya, Nityananda, Ramayana Maharishi, Swami Vivekananda. There's many I left off the list. My guru, Swami Vedanta. So whoever is a great Kriya yogi out there, an enlightened being, I always feel their company. I always feel their positive vibrations. So I never feel lonely.
We have another question here. It's a good question from Threshold Moment, who has some good questions, but is also kind of putting us down. But here's the question. What does reincarnation mean if we cannot remember any of our past lives? It has no meaning. Well, that's one that I can definitely answer from Tom Campbell's MBT, but if you want me to answer it, Vedgurudev, or would you like to provide an answer?
You could answer it first, and I'll come give my opinion at the end.
This is one that I've experienced since I started my channel, and I know that Threshold Moment says that I don't have a clue of what I'm talking about. Okay. Well, what Tom Campbell says in MBT is that the reason we don't remember our past lives is if we came into this life remembering, let's say, 50 of our last past lives, not only would it be very confusing, but we would know that this is not real. This is a game. And it's important that we have a lot of skin in the game, that we feel this is completely real. So there are people that do come into this world remembering something of maybe one of their past lives, usually the last one. And they might have remembered that they were, maybe they were lived in another village and they were married to this person, had 2 kids, and were, maybe they were a metal worker or something like that. But those memories usually fade when they're children, and then they get fully integrated into their current life. And they may remember this, but the feelings kind of dissipate. So, and then of course there are enlightened yogis like, even Lahiri Mahasaya. He had to be tapped on the forehead by Babaji to remember his past lives, and they came flooding back. But the reason that we don't remember our past lives, basically, it would be very confusing, and we need skin in the game. We need to feel this is real, and we kind of need to start over. We kind of need to start over as a way to test ourselves. So we come into this life with the same quality of consciousness that we left off in the past life. So those are the 3 reasons. There might be some more, but I don't want to hog the live stream. Vedgurudev, I'll let you say any words you'd like.
First of all, I like this guy, Tom Campbell. He got good insight. Like, I feel his wisdom. Like, this is high knowledge. They call it in yoga yana, which is high wisdom. So I resonate with what Tom Campbell says. I've never really researched him, but when you say it, I feel his vibration as true. Like, it's high knowledge. So love you, Tom Campbell. So yeah, on my Kriya yoga path, a lot of yogis told me, like, I don't know who you were in past life, but you definitely are carrying some divine energy, and I find it highly rare that you would know this type of knowledge if you weren't somebody in the past life. But I kind of came to the place, like, I used to try the techniques to see who I was in a past life, but I came to the realization that I'm living in this moment, in the present moment. What I did in the past really doesn't matter. I'm trying to go as far as I can in this exact moment. So I'm doing the inner work right now, and like I said in the previous live stream, I'm picking up where I left off in the past life. So I'm trying to go as far down the spiritual path as I can, and hopefully I can one day get to the point where I transcend my physical body and I get off the hamster wheel. I've exhausted all my karma, all my desires, everything I wanted to do. I have no reason to come back. Be free, my friend. I'm going home.
Yeah, and we have I think we have still some of that question here.
Okay.
We're talking about question 8. There's a third part. What would you like people to know or understand about you and your journey?
If I could do it, you could do it. So there's no real secret. I'm no enlightened being. I'm nobody special. Like I said in the other live stream, I'm going to 0. I'm nobody special. I don't want to be anybody special. I don't want to be put on a pedestal. I just done the inner work. I've done my sadhana. I've gone through the practices. So if I could do it, you could do it, to make a long story short. So that's what I want you to know. And I want you to be inspired by me, because I'm the most non-yogi DJ guy, egotistical, amusement park body guy that's probably ever listed. So if I could wake up from the dream and get on the path of Kriya Yoga, anybody could do it.
Well, I don't know about anybody, but most people. You're pretty flexible. Actually,
well, it took a while to get here. I was not flexible day one. Like, if I tried to sit on the floor for more than 2 minutes, my legs were totally spaghetti, numb. I couldn't even stand.
Yeah, I didn't realize how flexible you are until in the last class you were teaching asanas. And in one of these asanas, you were on the floor, and we were going through like the lotus position, and you were doing certain exercises to stretch out the hips. So
right.
my girlfriend Jean was on the floor doing the exercises and and she couldn't even get close to what you were doing. And she takes half the yoga classes like 3 times a week. So that was impressive. And she's been doing yoga for years. So I don't know.
Well, Gene, you will get there one day. Just keep practicing. You know, like rock the baby. You know the technique.
Yep.
Knee up, butterfly. You'll loosen up your hips. So if you want to sit like this, it's for anybody. So if you want to impress your friends and sit in full lotus position, Padmasana, we have a beautiful video on our Kriya Yoga School. It's worth $25, plus a bunch of other great stuff.
Sandy says it's a very reasonable fee. So, yeah, it is. Because
Thank you, Sandy.
Most of these yoga studios that you go to, they're going to charge you about $100 or more for the month, you know, to go in there. And they're doing mostly hatha yoga. You know, you're not dealing with a guru. You're dealing with just a hatha yoga instructor.
And they're going to teach you what they want to teach. Our school is very flexible. We have the videos, and you could take your time, and you could learn whatever you want. The video's on demand. You could rewind it over and over and over. So you could learn whatever you want. There's a beginner, intermediate, and advanced class. So it's for everybody. You could go through the techniques. You could ask questions in the live class. So it's well worth $25.
Yeah, I wanted to address a comment by Threshold Moment who says, enlightenment is already the case, and it's not something that you need to strive for. Let me just explain that. When you say that, okay, from my understanding of MBT, we are all part of the larger consciousness system. So everyone is the same. We're all made out of the same consciousness. Whether you're black, white, red, doesn't make a difference. We're all the same. But we are living with these egos. And in order to reach a more spiritual state, we need to bring down the ego and detach from it. And that's where these techniques really help, okay? Because just like Vedgurudev said, before he was knowledgeable about Kriya Yoga, he was completely ignorant to all of this. And he was just living in the ego body, and he was doing things that were not pushing him forward in terms of spirituality. He wasn't going closer to God. He was probably going further away. And he's completely made a 180. So that's what I'm saying. It's, yeah, we're all part of the larger consciousness system. But even people who are part of the larger consciousness system are some very evil people in this world. People who are in prison, jail, who've done incredibly bad things. Just because you are God itself doesn't mean that you are always going to live like Mother Teresa, okay? So that's where we say these techniques are important, because you also say techniques are useless. It's just something they put you through in order to occupy you for a while you pay them money. You could say this, if you want to take that to another level or look at it from a different angle, you could talk about martial arts, because martial arts and spirituality have a lot in common, right? You have to be very deferential to the master, because the master is teaching these techniques. Take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for example, right, which I've done. There are very special techniques in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that allow a small person to defeat a larger person. That's why it was created. And if you walk into a dojo, and all things being equal, if you don't know these techniques and you roll, that means get on the floor and kind of, do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with somebody, they will tap you out, basically beat you every single time. And why? And this, if you've never done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you don't know about the martial arts, you may not know what I'm talking about, but I've been there. I would roll with somebody when I was a beginner and they were in the class for a year or two. They would tap me out every single time. Why? Because they're using techniques. And I would say the same thing for spirituality. If you sit down and you just try to do it by yourself, you have no guidance, you don't know what you're doing, why not use the proven techniques that were passed down from generation to generation from the great yogis? That's all I'm saying, right? Be smart. It's not how hard you row the boat. You have to be in the right boat. And being in the right boat is the boat with techniques.
Yeah, and if what he said about enlightenment, yeah, we're all partly enlightened, but most of us are unrealized that we're enlightened. So these techniques help you to realize that how to get to enlightenment, how to realize your inner self. So you can't, how can I say, you can't drive a car without technique. You can't go nowhere without technique. Technique is the boat that helps you get across the river. So without these techniques, how could you get to the other side? If you're not going to row the boat, you're not going to go anywhere. So you have to use some kind of technique to move in the right direction.
Yeah. And everybody, almost every boy in Thailand at one point has to go into the monastery. They have to be a monk, even if it's just for a month. Now, why would that be? Right? If they're born perfectly enlightened, knowing everything, why would they have to go into the monastery and become a monk? Why would anybody have to learn anything? It just doesn't make sense. And so, sometimes you have to think about those things. You made another comment, threshold moment. Chad talks about being a businessman, which I did as a comparison's sake, as a metaphor, etc., but then talks about going into a cave, which is a Chad. So what I'm saying is you can learn the techniques. Now at our school, and I'm not trying to talk about our school all the time as a promotion, but we have a what's called a 3-month certificate. If you go through our school, go through the techniques, after 3 months, you get a certificate. We just gave out some certificates because we just got to the 3-month mark. If you go another 3 months, you get a 6-month certificate, then a 9-month, and then the year. Then you've completed your training for the most part. And from there, you can stay at the school and, be a part of it because it is a community as well. Or you can take all the knowledge and go off into your cave and use these techniques to be a Kriya Yogi master. Okay? That's all we're saying. This is a school. This is where you learn the techniques. Then after that, you have them for the rest of your life. So it's just like anything else.
And then you could teach other people. And these techniques, I'm living proof, have helped me live a more healthy mind, healthy body, healthy soul, everything. So I'm living proof that these techniques work. And I assure you, Chad's not trying to be a businessman. We're not doing this as a business. We're not making boatloads of money from this. We're helping people. And we have numerous testimonials from our students that this has helped them and helped them live a more happy, blissful, healthy life, and help them overcome the pain in their body and whatever ailed them in their body. So,
and Alice says, first time seeing a guru being heckled. Yeah, it is. It's a bit disrespectful, I have to say, but look.
No, I'll say this. This is a good way to say this story. There was a story about a guru. Many people go to a guru and say, "You're such a great guru. I love you so much," and he says, "Blessings." So, and then there's other people that go to a guru and say, "You're such a stupid guru. I didn't win the lottery," and he says, "Blessings." So, as a yogi, as a guru, we stay in a state of equanimity. We take the good with the bad. We don't attach to anything. We stay equal. Whether it's good or bad, if you want to heckle me, come on with it. I like to dance. So, you want to dance? What's this guy's name? You want to dance? Let's dance. That's the best you got? You ain't got nothing. You got some good jokes. They're making me laugh. But I like when they say in yoga, they say, even if it's the end of the world, don't let nothing break your samadhi. Your higher state of meditation. So that's the best you got. Whatever your name is, you ain't got nothing. You didn't even break my meditation for half a second.
Well, I enjoy countering threshold moments, and some of these are valid. So he's got another one here. He says the Korean. It's actually
this guy's a real joker. The Korean yoga path. Okay, whatever. What's his name? Threshold moment. Okay, yeah, okay.
He says, he says the Kriya yoga path is not necessary, and even if one becomes more healthy as a result of it, the end result of life is death anyway. I mean, it's a very pessimistic.
The Korean yoga path. He don't even know how to say Kriya yoga right. So, my guru told me something one time. We were at the temple in Battery Neck, right? And this lady saw I was a foreigner, and she was trying to give me mantra diksha. And my guru came up right when he heard, and he told her, Ma, and he told her in Hindi, like, this guy gives you mantra diksha. You don't give him mantra diksha. And he's like, this is a good lesson. We don't take yogic knowledge from non-yogis. So anybody that's trying to tell you about yoga and they're not a yogi, just get away from that person. What do they know? It's probably some guy in his mother's basement in Oklahoma typing out what he thinks a yogi should be. Give me a break, Threshold. You're a good joker. Come on with it. That's the best you got. You ain't got nothing. I sleep in the cave in the Himalayan mountains. This is kindergarten joke to me.
Yeah, I wanted to address something in that comment. You say, what's the difference if someone becomes more healthy? In the end, the result is death anyway. That's like, you just might as well die right now, because no matter what you do, you're going to die. I think it's ridiculous. It's about the quality of life. Okay, if you can improve the quality of life right now, you can be more. Everybody wants to be more healthy. People generally, for the most part, don't walk around saying, well, what's the point of making money? What's the point of having a relationship? What's the point of buying a new car or going on a vacation? I'm going to die anyway. You might as well just die right now if that's your outlook on life. It's such a negative, pessimistic way to look at life. So I kind of see where these questions are coming from. You got to really change that attitude.
My mother used to say, misery enjoys company. So hurt people hurt other people.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, Threshold.
Yeah.
Not affected at all.
Why does everything that challenges this guy have to be deemed as negative? No, it doesn't. You had some questions. There was no negativity in them. You asked about the past lives question. I said it was a question. I said it's a question that I've gotten.
I don't even acknowledge it. If a tree falls in the woods and I don't hear it, did it really fall? Threshold, are you really there? I think you're invisible. You're a tree falling in the woods that I don't even hear. Keep coming.
Sandy says, speaking of not feeding the fears, don't feed the fear mongers also. Good one, Sandy.
I don't fear at all. I stay in a state of fearlessness always. So I don't feel 1 ounce of fear from these jokers. It's funny though. It's good comedy. I just get my popcorn and laugh at the comedy movie. This is the most funniest movie. I said in the last live stream I like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I'm laughing harder at this guy Threshold than I ever laughed at any sitcom ever.
we have a question, a really good question from a viewer, and I don't know if we've got him. I don't think we've ever received a question like this, so I'm going to ask it. It's from Sasquatch Cumberbatch. Can someone be born with city powers from a past life? Great question there.
Yeah, that is a good question. Could be. Like, I'm sure there are many yogis that have done the inner work in a past life, and their CDs kind of came into them in their next incarnation. So I'm sure that's happened before. I can't say I've had that experience, but maybe I have some hidden CD powers that I've never tried to realize or I never tried to cultivate from a past life. Could be, but I'm sure there are many yogis that have their CD powers from their past life or their karma or their samskars have carried over from the past life into this life, and they were able to cultivate that and enhance that once they realized they had these CD powers.
Yeah, and I know, like, for instance, I know the story of Swami Nityananda, who lived in the 20th century. He was a very powerful guru. And also Haida Khan Babaji, who had appeared in India from 1970 to 1984. Both of them were youth who showed incredible powers. They had the ability to withstand heat, to not drink or eat for days and weeks, and also to perform what the locals called miracles. And this was like right off the bat. And they Nityananda was known, he was a baby and he grew up, but Haida Khan Babaji just appeared as an 18-year-old youth in a cave. So they don't know where he came from. So yeah, I do believe that city powers are passed down, and the great ones display them right away.
And I have been to Hydrocon Baba's ashram myself, and I can tell you it's vibrating on a high frequency in the Himalayan mountains. The prana, the energy, the vibration there is outstanding. And I felt it for myself. I haven't read it in a book, so I know this for a fact.
Alice says that low and reasonable price of $25 has threshold moment beside themselves. LOL, pipe down. Thank you, Alice. All right, we can go back. If you have questions, guys, we're doing a live stream. We're live on Open Reality, Bend the Spoon, and the Kriya Yoga School channel with Vedgurudev. So if you have questions, leave them in the comments section. And I want to get to, we're never going to get through this whole list here. We may have to save them until next time, but let's go over to question number 9. This is a question that says, I've always been sensitive to large crowds. Being in a full elevator, I feel like I'm suffocating and even driving in busy traffic. Now, I've noticed when people hug me, shake my hand, or touch my hair, I feel like I need to take a shower to wash myself because I feel dirty. Okay, interesting. Question is, why are some people so sensitive and others are not?
Some people are vibrating on a higher frequency. They're more self-aware. They're more realized. All the yogis I know, they always were, they believe cleanliness is next to godliness. So they were always trying to clean themselves. They were always trying to purify themselves. They were always trying to keep a good hygiene and a state of cleanliness. So yeah, I would say that this is a heightened state of awareness that you're purifying yourself and you're cleansing yourself. And once you're aware that certain people are carrying some energy that you don't want to carry yourself, then you kind of want to wash that negative energy off yourself, and you want to stay in a state of purity and cleanliness. So that's what I would say. Oh, you're muted, Chad.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a big truck passing outside, so I didn't want to do
it's okay.
There's another part to this question, which is, what are some coping techniques? I feel like I need to find a better place to live with energy. I resonate to, or I will be really clean with all the showers I'm taking.
Yeah, some coping techniques for this is being mindful of everything, being aware of your environment, being aware of your circumstances, just being self-aware and just being mindful. So my guru used to say, anybody can meditate in the purity of the Himalayan caves, but the real yogi can meditate and be pure in the center of New Delhi, India, right? With all the cars honking and all the pollution. So if you could get to a state, you could be in the middle of Times Square in New York City, and you could be as pure as you could be in the Himalayan mountains. So it just depends on you. Like, if you do the inner work, nothing can really affect you. One of the most famous sayings was a yogi called Ramayana Maharishi, and they asked him, how would you define enlightenment? He said, nothing could bother me. So whether he was in the middle of New Delhi or he was in a cave by his ashram in complete silence, which they call Mona, he was always in the same kind of state.
We have a question from Sandy, and she says, what do you both think of the persecution imprint? That healers carry the karmic imprint of persecution. I would argue that I don't think that all healers carry the karmic imprint of persecution. Persecution is some type of punishment or severe form of punishment or harassment for something in the past. I mean, healers usually they take on sometimes. They take on the karma or the pain of the people they're healing. I mean, that's been known. But as far as the karmic imprint, I'm not sure what you mean there, Sandy, if you mean that, or something from a past life, if you could clarify. But it's been known that healers sometimes can take on the karma of the people they heal. So, do you have any thoughts on that, Vedgurudev?
I would say that I don't feel any karmic imprint from any past reincarnation at all. And I do the inner work and I burn my karma every day. So I want all my students of the Kriya Yoga School to give me all their karma so I could burn it up. Like I said, I burned it up yesterday in the fire. I personally want to take on their karma and I want to dissolve it for them and exhaust their karma out their body. So that's what I want, the karma. Give me the karma. Because my Kriya Yoga cup is full. I want to, if your cup is empty, I want to pour my Kriya Yoga techniques and my Kriya Yoga knowledge into your cup so we can all uplift each other. If you got karma that needs to burn, give it to me. Let's have it. I want it. Give it to me. I burn it up in the fire. I take it on, and I could give you the techniques that you could realize that this karma doesn't serve you no more. You're carrying around a rock you don't need no more. Get that monkey off your back, throw it off. It doesn't serve you no more. So you want me to help you burn your karma? Join the Kriya Yoga School and let's get started on burning all your karma. I'll burn it in the fire. I'll answer all your questions. Let's get to work. You don't need to carry this karma, this junk around with you no more. Exhaust it out your body. It doesn't serve you anymore.
We actually have this might be a first, or maybe not a first, but we have a question from Threshold Moment, and Alice provided an answer, which I think is pretty interesting. So I'll read it.
Okay, great.
Threshold Moment says, the thing about people like Chad and his guru is they do not welcome scrutiny. But if you are so enlightened, why not welcome the scrutiny? Why not speak to it? And wait, Alice answered it and said, they do welcome it. They're literally still interacting with you as you insult and gaslight them. So.
Yeah, so give it to me. I'd already said, give it to me. I like it. This is the greatest comedy movie, the comedy show I ever saw. I get my popcorn and like it. You know, you want me to accept you, but you don't want to accept us. So I give you an honest answer. Whatever you say, Threshold, doesn't affect me. I got my Cavachum shield up. That's the best you got. Doesn't affect me. Nothing can bother me now. I'm in a heightened state of awareness.
Yeah.
Good try, though.
No, I think it makes for a more entertaining live stream sometimes if you have a person like this. But
yeah,
sometimes you do have some valid points or questions. Like the fact is that if you cannot remember past lives, they are of no consequence whatsoever. See, there's no insult there. You're just talking about an idea.
I agree with you. What's the point of realizing your past lives? They don't serve you no more. They're gone. They're water under a bridge. They're clouds in the sky. So you're right. Threshold, you do have some good insights sometimes. Yeah, your past lives don't serve you no more. They're gone. They're history. So live in the present moment, my friend.
We have, let's go to our next question, which would be number 10 on our list of 18 here. And of course, you guys could ask your questions as well. It seems like all the attention is on male retention strategies. How do women use their sexual energy to be more productive and creative if they want to abstain from physical relationships?
So this is a good technique in Kriya Yoga. So male retention is the same for female retention. It's the exact same technique. So it's not really, I say it because I'm a male, but it works exactly the same for a female. So basically, it's called brahmacharya. It's taking your sexual juice in your root and bringing it to the crown of your head and turning it into spiritual juice. So that's how you would take sexual tension and turn it into creative tension and spiritual tension. You are taking your sexual juice from your root and bringing it up to the crown of your head, transforming it into spiritual juice, which we have this technique in our school. So we demonstrate this technique a couple times in our classes. So if you want to know how to take sexual juice and turn it into spiritual juice, join the Kriya Yoga School.
Hmm. We have a random question here from Adam for Pharaoh, probably beyond the scope of our understanding. It's more of a medical question. It says, how do you detox from a PCR test you took from a while ago? Well, why would you think that the test caused you to become toxic in the first place? And most of the time, your body is detoxing anyway. What I'm doing now is chelation therapy. You could look into that, where they introduce a chemical agent. I'm taking EDTA. It's injected into the body. I get it right here, and it carries out, all the bad heavy metals and bad things out of your body. Look into it. But I just wanted to address that question because I'm always into health myself. So thank you, Adam. And, I'm going through your questions. Let's go into number 11 from our viewers here, our personal viewers. Why do we dream, Vedgurudev? Why is it necessary that we dream?
Well, that's a deep question. I don't know if I have the answer to this one. I mean, we probably dream because we're probably holding on to some desires or some karma that needs to be exhausted, and I guess it comes up in the dream and maybe gives us a signal that it should be exhausted, and we need to do the inner work to let this go or exhaust this karma. And maybe in the dream you're able to act out things you wouldn't be able to act out in the physical form. So I don't know. This is a good question. I don't really have the solid answer for this.
From Tom Campbell's perspective, he would say that we're always learning. So whether you're conscious in real life TikTok world, the everyday state we're in now, or when you're sleeping, your mind is creating scenarios for you to learning. And he says when you're in the dream state, you're in the actual being state. And the being state is where you act from your being level, what you truly want to do. Because many times in life, we put on many different masks, many different hats, and we're not really our true self, and we can't be because we're always trying to fit into society. We want to please others and be seen in the best light. But in the dream state, you usually will act out according to what you want to do at the being level. So it's a test in a different way. That's what Tom Campbell would say.
Well put, Chad.
We have a question here from somebody that I've interviewed on my channel at least once before, if not twice. Hi, Tony. How are you doing? We have Tony Sayers. Tony Sayers says he has his own spiritual channel. How many times do you need to learn the lesson before you pass, meaning die? So who has the authority to say whether or not we passed? Are they perfect themselves to tell us we need to learn more lessons? So basically, let's take the first part of that question and answer it, Vedgurudev. How many times do you need to learn a lesson before you die?
I think you need to learn it one time. I don't know why you need to learn it over and over.
Actually, I'm sorry. Now that I'm reading the question again, I don't think he actually means past, like die. I think he means pass the test. So how many times do you need to learn the lesson before you pass the test? And who has the authority to say whether or not we pass the test? So that's what I'll say here. Sorry, I misread it, Tony.
Okay, no problem. I mean, I don't think you have to prove anything to anybody. This is a sovereign, a self path. So you don't need to prove anybody or anybody. Nobody has authority to tell you passed. You just do the inner work and you try to be the best person you can. And it doesn't matter if you pass or what other people think. It only matters how good of a person you are, how compassionate you are, how loving you are. Because really, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is love. My guru used to say something that I really liked. He said, love is not only 3 beans in your hand. He said, love is the infinite. So you should give love to everybody. You should say, love you, love you, love you, love you, because there's no limit on love. You should love the whole planet. So no one has control over if you pass or you come to some certain test. You are the only judge of you. So do what is in your best interest. And what other people think, if they think you're not an enlightened being or you're not a yogi, it really doesn't matter what other people think. It's only between you and your higher self. If you do the inner work, it really doesn't matter what other people think, because it's only between you and you. So you are in control, and no one can let you pass the test, because it doesn't matter what other people think.
Yeah, and when you die and you go to the afterlife, which really we're kind of in now, we're just kind of logged in into this earth life. But if you want to think about it as when we die, we go to the transition reality in the spirit world, and we meet with our guides and maybe the council of elders. We are going to be the ultimate judge of ourselves. And everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody makes mistakes in life. Everybody tells white lies. Nobody lives a perfect life, other than maybe the ascended masters. So you'll see all this, and you'll experience the pain and suffering that you gave to other people, to have a greater understanding of how your actions impacted others when you are in the spirit world. So you will review your life, you will see your mistakes, and then you will determine what you need to do when you come back in the next life. So,
Yeah, so if I ever go before the council of elders, I said, I did some stuff I wasn't proud of, but I've learned from my mistakes. So if they show me my life review, I say, yeah, I did that, but I'm a better person now. Turn the page. You know, I'm ready to go. Like, I learned from my mistakes. I did something I'm not proud of, but I became aware that I was on the wrong path. I woke up and realized my higher self, and now I'm okay with the person I am. So whatever, if I ever meet the council of elders, I'll be like, this is what I did what I did, and I'm standing by it. So judge me not. This is the yogi I am, or this is the person I am, or this is my soul. So I don't judge you, so I hope you give me the same compassion and don't judge me. So open the doors, I'm coming home.
Mama, I'm coming home.
Mama, I'm coming home.
I think Ozzy Osbourne said that. But
Babaji, I'm coming home.
yeah, I would just add that it's not how you start the game, it's how you finish it. You know, and I think the important thing is, did you learn your lesson, and did you change, and did you keep the behavior? And I think that's the most important thing. That's really the most important thing. So we have a few other questions here. So Lisa says, how do we get started? So I think she means in the Kriya Yoga School. Well, there's a link below, at least if you're watching on Open Your Reality. But if you want to go to the Kriya Yoga School on your own, it's just kriyayogamasterclass.com. Just go there and you'll see everything.
Yeah, so once you become a member of the Kriya Yoga School, we have daily recommended practices. So we have videos on how to get started, what we recommend you do, how do you integrate Kriya Yoga into your life. And we have all kinds of techniques and all kinds of classes. You can just go through it. And whatever techniques make you feel better and make you feel happy and live a blissful, healthy life, add those techniques into your daily practice. And that's basically how you get started.
We actually are thinking of different ways to bring Kriya Yoga into the world, and it's a bit of a challenge because Kriya Yoga is not like yoga is very broad, and Kriya Yoga is much more defined. So we're trying to find other seekers of Kriya Yoga, and we spoke to somebody that was going to help us with the marketing to the school, because it's just like anything in life, you know, you need to spread the word. And this guy really knows what he's talking about. And he says, you guys are giving, like, he looked into our school, he says, you guys are giving like an absolutely insane value at a super low price. He goes, I would be charging way more. So he says, you're doing way too much. And that's how Vedgurudev and I, we just want to do the best for our students. So we give everything right now. I can't say it'll always remain that way, but if you really want to take advantage of everything we have to offer, now is a good time.
Well,
So,
Kriya Yoga has really helped me on the path, and I want it to help everybody. So I don't want to be put on no pedestal like I'm this big guru or I'm this real and spiritual enlightened being. I'm just like you. I just did the inner work. So if I could do it, you could do it. If I could sit in full lotus position, you could sit in full lotus position. There's no magic secret. There's no mystical thing about it. I just practice and do the work. And you may never know. It might change your life. It might help you. It might help you overcome your emotional attachments. It might help you overcome your health problems. Give it a try. It's $25. If it doesn't work, just cancel. You know, it's not for everybody. But at least you could say you tried.
Are you ready to dance, Vedgurudev?
Dance. Let's dance.
we have a scathing comment from Threshold Moment who says,
"Oh boy, here we go.
Saying you are nobody special and don't want to be anybody special is just so disingenuous. You sit up there as a guru with your legs crossed like that. Come on, man."
I don't know what's disingenuous. I'm speaking from my heart. So like, if it's not what you want to hear, I'm sorry, but I'm just speaking my truth from my heart. So I'm not trying to be disingenuous. I don't know why you're offended by me sitting this way. Maybe you have some inner work or some samskaras or some karma you have to overcome. I'm just trying to being an example to other people. If I could do it, you could do it. So nothing disingenuous about it here. This is how I sit. This is how I do my yoga practice. I'm not trying to offend you in any way. I don't know how you would be offended by me sitting this way. This is how yogis sit. So if you don't like how yogis sit, just turn the channel. This is how I am.
So we'll go on to number 12 here in our question list. What, in your opinion, Vedgurudev, is the biggest waste of human potential?
Being attached to fear, being tribal, thinking you're in control of something you're not in control of. You know, most people watch the news and they think they have some skin in the game. They're some kind of player. You know, I look at the news and I look at the world as a whole like wrestling. It's predetermined. They're just trying to get you in a state of fear. They're just trying to get you in a tribal state of mind. Because if you think you're on their team, they could get you to do what they want. But if you don't resonate with their team and you laugh at their team like the joke it is, you have no skin in the game. You don't want no part of their narrative. You know, you've already looked behind the curtain. You've already seen The Wizard of Oz. So you don't want no part of anything that they're doing. So that's what I would say.
Okay. Are you ready to dance again? Well,
yep.
I can address this myself. Threshold says, and pay $25 for absolutely nothing, and then says, I don't mind them selling something, but why not send something to people that's tangible? I just wanted to say to that, well, when you join a yoga school and you're doing just Asana yoga poses, you join a dance studio, you join a martial arts, are you getting something tangible? No, you're not getting something in your hand. You're learning something valuable. So come on, you got to really think a little harder. Anyway.
He just contradicted himself. He said, why do you get something $25 for absolutely nothing? When you do, go to the school and see right now how much value you get. It's tangible. These are life-changing techniques that could help you be the best person you could be. You're dreaming with your eyes open. Wake up from the dream. Kriya Yoga is a good thing. It's helped millions of people around the world. Chad's favorite book in the whole world is Autobiography of a Yogi. And what is that about? Kriya Yoga. It's helped millions of people around the world. So instead of being so negative, see the positive of it.
Yeah.
Kriya Yoga to the world. There's
a reason why it was translated into 46 languages and why been read by over 50 million people worldwide. And there's a reason why that was the only book that Steve Jobs ever carried with him, and he gave it out to people. It's such a special book. It's not just all the stories, it's the way it was written. Beautiful, beautiful book. I highly recommend you read it if you want inspiration to be on a spiritual path. Threshold Moment has a legitimate question here. Okay. Gurudev, what if a person is unable to sit in lotus style? That's way too painful. I could never do that.
So this is a question I tell all my students. You don't need to sit in full lotus position, Padma Asana. The most important thing in yoga is comfort and relaxation. So sit in the way that makes you feel the most comfortable. Pain blocks the flow of prana. So if you're in a state of pain, it's going to block the prana in your body. So you want to do everything you can to relax and be comfortable. So sit however you want. That's the best way to sit in yoga, because it's about comfort and relaxation. If your monkey mind is in a state of pain, you're going to have a hard time concentrating and getting to that higher state in meditation. So you want to be in comfort and relaxation anytime you do any yogic practice.
Right, exactly. And by the way, I can't sit anywhere near lotus position. I was born so inflexible. I remember in kindergarten not being able to sit Indian style. I was the only one in the class. And I remember the teacher like pushing my shoulders down, trying to get me, my legs. I've never been flexible. I can't even come near to touching my feet when I bend over. I probably have one of the most inflexible bodies of all time. Could be my rheumatoid arthritis, but I've learned to accept it. And through the years, I've worked on the asanas and I've gotten just a little bit better. But I think ultimately you just have to accept whatever body you have. Can't sit in lotus position, you could do chair yoga. So
right. And in our school, we demonstrate chair yoga for the beginners. It's perfectly fine to do Kriya yoga, sitting in a chair, sitting in half lotus position. Sit however you want that makes you feel comfortable. That's the most important way to do any yogic practice. Comfort and relaxation.
Yep. Sandy has a great question for you, Vedgurudev. She says, during the classes, how do you handle students who try to take over or derail the whole session? Thank you.
Well, none of our students really try to do that. All our students are respectful and ask great questions. So I've never really had that experience. Anybody trying to take over, they ask great questions, and I try to give them the best answer I can to help them on their path to Kriya Yoga. They're really seekers of Kriya Yoga. They're really practitioners of Kriya Yoga. They're serious about it, and they want to learn as much as they can. So I do everything I can to answer their questions. But I've never really had anybody try to derail any of our classes.
Yeah, I would say all the students that join us on StreamYard, the platform that we use to conduct the classes, we bring them up on the stage. We share our experiences. They ask questions, and everybody has been very respectful. And so it's worked out. But you could, somebody could join a school like that. But if they were, first off, they don't have to be on the stage. We can take them off the stage, and they can remain off stage. And that's probably how we would handle it. And then we'd probably send them a comment, just letting them know, you have to cool it off. But
yeah, but I take the good with the bad anyway. Yeah. So I answer bad questions or so-called bad questions with equanimity. I see them as equal. I don't want you to give me all great questions. I want some questions that help me contemplate, I never really thought about it that way. So I answer every question with equanimity, equal, good or bad.
We have another question from Threshold Comment. How does Chad know that a yoga class teacher may not be a guru? Maybe they don't wear it on their sleeve and keep it hidden. This is just outrageous. Well, it's true. They could be a guru, but most hatha yoga teachers who come to a class talk almost nothing about spirituality and just go through the poses. It's more for the exercise. It's more for burning calories. It's more for flexibility. If they were a true guru, they probably wouldn't only be conducting a hatha yoga class. And I'm talking about all the tens and hundreds of thousands of yoga instructors out there who teach at an LA Fitness or a gym or have a yoga studio. There's a difference between an actual Kriya yoga master or yoga master and somebody who's just teaching yoga, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we don't only teach hatha yoga. We teach the five folds of yoga, which is hatha yoga, asanas, pranayama, secret yogic breath, meditation, dhyana, mastering the mind, mantra japa, and bhakti. So we teach all the five folds. So we're not focused on one fold of yoga. We're teaching the buffet of all yoga. So pick whichever one you like, whichever one works best for you.
Tashamon has another comment here. Chad takes my comments and parses them into pieces and doesn't say what the whole comment is because he's all about misrepresentation. How is that possible when I'm putting your comments right here on the screen and reading the whole thing every time? Come on. Anyway, he also says, I discovered Tom Campbell over 10 years ago. Okay, great. I did too. I'm glad you've come across Tom Campbell, but you're definitely not following in line with Tom's teachings right now and some of the things you're saying. All right, let's go down the list. You know what? Let's go back to our list and go to question number 13. Is having a sense of humor a spiritual gift? The ability to make others laugh in hard and challenging times.
Yeah, I would say that's a spiritual gift. That's a good CD. My guru always was laughing, always in a happy state. He laughed about everything. He was always joyful and blissful in a state of Ananda. So I would say that was his greatest CD, his greatest superpower. He was a life-loving, joyful, happy, blissful yogi. So that was his greatest CD power. And I try to laugh, like I don't try to let anything affect me. Whatever comment you put, I laugh about it. So I try to keep a great state of humor because that's important in yoga too. As a yogi, you don't want to be so serious. There are too many serious yogis out there. You want to be happy and blissful and a higher state of Ananda, laughing and joyful, enjoying life every second of the day.
Absolutely. There's another comment that I wanted to address. I think he says, Chad is acting like I don't understand Tom Campbell, but Chad only discovered Tom Campbell like 2 years ago. It's been over a decade for me that I've known about him. Well, I'll address that question by saying, I started my channel in 2019 and I started talking about Tom Campbell back then. That's 5 years ago. And I first learned about Tom Campbell around the year 2010. So I've known about Tom Campbell for 14 years, right? And I've said that in my videos. So I just wanted to address that. So just get your facts right. Let's go on to the question number 14 from our viewer list questionnaire, which is, what is aware I am thinking? I'm not sure what this question means, Vedgurudev, but what is aware I am thinking?
So awareness is an inner state of in yoga they say be aware of what is aware. So that's like a higher state of consciousness, like a contemplation, inner self realization. So that's like awareness. You begin to realize that awareness is inside you as you. It's not external, it's internal. So once you realize you're aware of what is being aware, then you come to a higher state of realization. So that's what I would say.
Okay, we're going to go down the list here to get our final few questions.
Oh.
You okay?
Chad, hold on a second. My earpods died. So I'm going to change my headphones so I can hear you.
No, take your time. I'll go through, do what you have to do. I'm going to go through the comment section here and just look into these other questions.
Hold on, I can't hear you. Maybe answer my questions while I put on my physical headphones.
Yeah, no problem. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Things like this happen. It's not a big deal. The other day we did a fire ceremony. It took a while for Vedgurudev to start it off. That was only because he had an actual Brahma Acharya come from India and they had to get it going. So I was talking on the live stream for quite a while. It's perfectly fine. I could actually sit here all day and just chat away, really, especially with Threshold Moment here. He's got a lot of things to say. I wish I could read them all, but we'd be here literally all day. And I do have to do other things in life.
Oh. Okay, hold on a second.
Sure, take your time.
All right, now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yep. I have just a quick question. I've got let's just go jump to a question in the comment section here. I think it's for me. Adam Farrell says, since you are getting the heavy metals removed and get vitamin D with it, have you taken K2 as well in the process? So there's no vitamin D or vitamin K in the chelation therapy. They give you a shot of glutathione at the end. But as far as vitamin D and K2, I take a vitamin D3 and K2 supplement, and it's important to take those two together because it could affect, D3 can affect your calcium levels if you don't take the K2 with it. So always take a supplement, D3 and K2 together. I have a liquid, put it in my water, drink it. I can't say every day, but most days, and I am in the sun here in Florida as well. So thank you for the question. Got to get that health question in there. Okay, so let's jump back to the question we asked before, which is, I think you were talking, did you finish answering that question about awareness, Vedgurudev?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, so question 15 is, do you still see or talk to your friends from your time as a DJ? Any lasting friendships? Great question.
Yeah, so I still know a lot of people in the music industry. I still know a lot of DJs. They invite me out when they come. About a year ago, they did this big hip-hop music festival called Rolling Loud, and they invited me backstage and gave me all-access passes to me and my daughter. So I still know famous artists, famous DJs, people from the music industry, and they invite me to their events. So they still check up on me, and I check up on them sometimes.
Do you still talk with DJ Vlad? DJ Vlad, if you don't know, has a very popular YouTube channel. Has millions and millions of subscribers. And he interviews some of the world's most famous people.
I haven't talked to him recently, but if I have a need, I can reach out to him. He's probably busy, but I could probably reach out to him and I could probably get a response. Like I said, when I've done a bunch of shows with him. I DJ'd with him in Japan, and I met him before in Japan. And when I won the Best DJ in Asia award, he presented to me on stage in New York City in Times Square. So I probably could. We'll see.
Who would have thought he went on to reach stardom as a YouTube creator? But I would like to even know his story, how he started with that, to go from a DJ to being an interviewer on YouTube and getting so many views.
I think he just started making DVDs, like mixed DVDs, like doing interviews, and then when YouTube monetized, he just decided to start interviewing people on YouTube, and it just took off from there. But he's been doing it a long time, 15 years, I think, on YouTube. So
yeah.
He's been doing it a while.
YouTube's been around since 2006. Can't believe it, 18 years. One day YouTube will be around probably forever. Look back like 50 years from now. You see this video is like 50, 60 years old. It'd be kind of funny. Threshold Moment says, life is so short and the body dies and disappears and turns to dust so quickly. What is all this stuff about getting metals out, etc.? Talking about heavy metals like mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic, maybe even some high iron. And the reason is because most of the time in life, these heavy metals get into our body through the food, through the water, even through the mercury fillings, through injections. I'm not going to say the names, but you know. And so when the heavy metals get into your body, the body really can't process them, it stores them in the tissues, and they can cause a lot of problems in terms of your health. So I did a heavy metals test way back, probably over 10 years ago, and my levels were very high. And so I'm doing chelation therapy to remove the heavy metals out of the body so I can be healthier. That's the short of it. You know, we're at 1 hour and 36 minutes, Vedgurudev. So let's get to to all these questions on your list. We have 3 more left. how has your music taste changed that you now have a different life?
Yeah, now that I become a yogi, I resonate more with like what's called bhajans or like bhakti, like songs, singing, mantras, singing. So when I listen to music, I listen to like songs saying Babaji's mantra, different Kriya yogic songs. Yogananda has a bunch of beautiful songs he used to sing. So I like all that. I resonate with that. So people think I ride around listening to DJ music. I don't listen to it anymore. I listen to more spiritual, uplifting music. So that's interesting to know.
Our next question is, what benefits does art in all forms provide society, or does it hurt society in any way?
I think art is beautiful. I like looking at one of our members for our 3 month completion certificate painted a beautiful picture of the chakras. And I was just mesmerized by the art and the beauty in the painting and the art and the details of each chakra's flower. And I was like, wow, that's great. So it art inspires me. It uplifts me. It takes me to a happy place. So art is beautiful. So it's inspiring to see different people's art, and it takes you on a journey. So it's great. I love art.
Yeah, and there's a lot of yogi art as well, the pictures of the great yogis in the caves. I've put some of them on my channel, and I also do create them using AI. I could be one of the greatest artists of the age with AI with my prompts. Um, this is interesting. Another kind of question and answer here by the viewers themselves. Threshold Moment says, Chad cherry picks my comments. LOO, whatever that means. And Alice responded, cherry picks, as if you need him reading all 2,382,175 of your comments. Yes, like I said, we could be here all day, Threshold Moment. Anytime we need a long live stream, you can come aboard and we'll go for like 10 hours with all of these questions and comments, but we can't do it today. So we appreciate you staying with us and writing with us, but can't get to everything. Adam says, I found your channel from Forever Consciousness Research channel. I know that channel. They talk about mostly remote viewing on that channel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what they do on that channel for the most part. Okay, we have basically one more question of our 18 questions. And it is, there have been some yogis that have decided when they are ready to exit their body, which is called masamadhi, that they have completed everything they set out to do. Would you want to know the moment of your death in this life, Vedgurudev, or let nature take its course and enjoy every last breath you have in your current body? Good question.
I would rather enjoy every last breath I have in my body. As a yogi, we live in the present moment. We don't really worry about the future, the past. We stay fixed in the present moment. So I wouldn't really want to know. I mean, it really wouldn't matter what day I died. But as you know, many yogis have made a conscious effort to leave their body. They made a graceful exit, which is called in yoga Mahasamadhi. Like Yogananda left his body, Ramayana Maharishi did Mahasamadhi, Swami Vivekananda. So all these people have made like a conscious graceful exit, a conscious exit out their body, which is
there's actually a book written called Graceful Exits: How Great Beings Die, and I made videos about that on Vedgurudev, so my other channel. If you want to check it out, I think I might have done it on Open Your Reality too. So you'd have to look through all my videos to find it. Yeah, I made like about 700 plus videos, so they get buried. But yeah, there's some beautiful stories. If you want to read a good book, Graceful Exits, I think it's 108 stories of how great beings die. And just about all of them knew they were going to die.
That sounds beautiful. Yeah, so they make a conscious exit. In yoga, they have a bunch of songs like that welcome death. They laugh at death. And Babaji says, I am the death of death. Death is a joke to me. So we don't we're not afraid of death. We welcome it. They call it the divine flight. They're taking the divine flight. So like, yeah, it's like winning the lottery. I'm going home. I'm leaving behind this junk physical meat suit. I'm going into the light. See you later. Like I said before, I'm a sailboat sailing into the wind. I'm going into the sunset. I'm going from 100 to 0. See you later. No need to say my name. I'm gone. Wave bye-bye. That's it for me. So these yogis who have cultivated and enhanced this power of Mahasamadhi, when the time is right, they use it. They make a graceful exit. I've exhausted all my karma. I've did everything I want in this life. I'm getting off the hamster wheel. I'm going home. Open the doors, Babaji. I'm coming home.
We have a few other questions. There's a lot of comments. Like today's live stream, I think thanks to Threshold Moment, people are responding to him. And there's a lot of comments about the $25 price point of our school and everything like that. So I'm just getting them all together. I can't go through it fast enough. So let me go back to, I starred them, which means I can go back to them. So, okay, I'm gonna go to a question here. Sandy asked the same question again. How do we deal with people here? Let me put it up here. How do you deal with people who might try to derail the class or take over? We answered that already, Sandy. Basically, everybody's been respectful. But if we did have somebody like that, we just wouldn't put them up on the stage with us. We'd keep them backstage, meaning they're not on the screen. So that's basically how we'd handle it. Good question here from N4D132. Which lineage do you come from, Vedgurudev?
I come from the lineage of Siddhanta, which is a Sita lineage. So our lineage is Sita tradition. So we come from the 18 Sitas, but there's not only 18 Sitas, there's hundreds or thousands of Sitas, infinite many Sitas. Most Sitas don't even want to be known or want their name said. So the lineage I come from is Siddhanta, and my guru is Swami Vedananda Saraswati, and his ashram is in Dewada Hut, India, in the state of Uttarakhand, in the Himalayan mountains. So that is our lineage, Siddhanta. So Babaji is a Sita, so we respect Babaji as the fountainhead of Kriya Yoga. So, but to answer your question, we come from a long lineage of thousands of years of Sitas, known as Siddhanta.
Yeah, and also the same person says $25 is nothing, and then we have other people talking about that.
Good. I'll see you in the class. What's this guy's name? I'll look for him in the member section.
Just N4D132. So.
Okay. I look forward to seeing you sign up. N4D45267. Whatever.
Sandy says, I guess an advantage of the class is we don't need to deal with the trolls. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's never happened.
Yep. And here's an interesting one from Andromeda who says, Darius Wright charges $300 for AYDA method to get to the out-of-body state, and nobody has complained. Actually, his testimonials are mind-blowing. So $25 a month is really worth it. It's just exchange of energy. Yes.
Yeah. So if you go here, the Kriya Yoga School, we have all our testimonials on there. We have a great commercial. You could see everything you get, all the value, everything. So I agree with you. Other people charging $300, $25 is a cup of coffee in Starbucks. Try it out. You might never know. You might be a surprise Kriya yogi.
Yeah, and Andromeda says, you will literally spend those $25 quite a few times at A&W or some other fast food or cafeteria. Sure.
Yeah.
Better to fast for one meal, take your $25 and do something really special.
Right. And where does
Adam-
$25 get you now? A stick of gum at Walmart or 7-Eleven?
I went to the supermarket. I walked out with three things: razors, batteries, and garbage bags. And I think it was like $60. I couldn't
Yeah,
believe
exactly.
it.
Three
Just
things.
three things. The garbage bags were like, I think they were about $20. The razors were about 30, and the batteries were about 10. So I still have the
Yeah.
receipt.
So for the price of one thing, you could get some life-changing Kriya yoga techniques that maybe could put you on the path and change your life and give you great health and give you emotional detachment and help you be the best person you could be. Give it a try. You got nothing to lose. You don't need to fly to India to find a guru. You could do it in the comfort of your home. And I'm an open book to all our members. I answer all their questions, good or bad. So you'll have access to me and Chad every Saturday. We do live classes. We take all questions. We answer all questions on the chat. We have an interactive community where all our members uplift each other and help each other out. So it's $25. You got nothing to lose. And if you sign up for $25, you'll always be grandfathered in for $25, even if the price goes up. So you don't have to worry.
Adam has a question. What's the best video game? I stopped playing video games a long time ago because I recognize they're generally a waste of time. They take you away from the path. They take you away from reading, from doing what you really need to do in life. So I do feel they're a waste of time. And I felt that way since my college days. I'd rather read books. But I was a big video game player when I was young. I have to admit that. And so I don't know what the best video game of today is. It's probably, some people say Call of Duty, or some people say Grand Theft Auto. I'm going to say, let's talk about Vedgurudev, your favorite video game from, let's say, the 80s, and mine from the 80s. It's going to be a tough one.
I would say Pac-Man or Donkey Kong.
Those were good ones. For me, I'm going to say there was a game called Bump and Jump, which was a card game.
I remember.
Yeah. And one of the things I loved about that game is you go through the different seasons. So you have winter, spring, summer, fall. And I kid you not, I played that game for 2 hours on one quarter. I got really, really good at that game. And Galaga was another. Galaga and Galaxy were my favorite games too.
I used to like Frogger. Remember that frog? Jump across the street.
Yeah, that was with the Atari 2600. Sure.
Yeah, Atari 2600. That was when I was younger. That was my game. So I'm dating myself, but yeah, I had Atari 2600. What was the games? Pitfall, Keystone Coppers.
Yeah, I think Pitfall. I believe that was a great game. Actually, I played that game over and over. And I think the game that came with the Atari 2600, you know, lose my voice. I think it was called Combat. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Combat.
All these different games you could play.
Yeah.
And they were so simplistic, but when you're, 8, 10 years old and you're playing this, it seems like it was so advanced. It seems like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, it had a cartridge and you had to blow in it. You got to stick it in. You had a joystick.
I remember that. And I actually think I had the first video game ever. It was like, I think it was the late 70s. I might have been like 5 or 6 years old. And it was Pong.
Pong, yeah.
It was a console that you hook up to your TV. And I thought this was, even at 5 or 6 years old, I'm like, this is incredible technology. We can play video games on a TV.
Yeah.
And it didn't even have joysticks. It had 2 controllers, just knobs.
Knobs, yeah.
On it, right? And it was in black and white. And all it was like 2 blips and a ball. Yeah, exactly. The ball just goes back and forth, and you turn the blip, and that's the whole game. And I think the thing costs like $200, and it's just like, it was outrageous until Atari 2600 came out. So the younger people watching, you don't know. You don't know what we experienced. So. I'm going to go through some of the last questions here. I'm just going through Vedgurudev, trying to see if we have any last questions from our viewers. We've been on for almost 2 hours at this point. And for whatever says, very, very interesting. Thank you for the answer. And says, I will join the school. Thank you very much.
Thank you, N4.
Someone says, why aren't there any black gurus? That's a legitimate question. When you say black, you mean African, because most of the gurus that come from India are, they're not
Dark
white.
skin.
Yeah,
Right.
they're dark skinned. So
My guru, if you could put up a picture of my guru, guru has dark skin, and definitely most of the gurus from like South India, like Chennai and Tamil Nadu, yeah, see, he looks a little African, so he's a black guru. So
yeah,
I don't know where you get your information. Most of the gurus are dark skinned.
yeah. There's Vedgurudev teaching orphan kids in Thailand right there. Very nice. So, yeah, I mean, we it's it's never the outside container, it's the inside
Yeah.
container.
And
Really.
it doesn't matter what color your skin tone is. It just matters if you have inner energy. It's they call it Shakti, which is divinity. Like, so whatever color your skin. My guru used to say I asked him when we went to the Himalayan mountains. I said if the Himalayan Yeti, which is like Bigfoot, the abominable snowman shows up here, what should we do? And he said, if the abominable snowman, the Yeti, is carrying divine energy, he is our brother. So it doesn't matter what form or how hairy they are, or what color their skin. As long as they're carrying divine positive energy, they're our brothers, and we welcome them. Our door is open to all people carrying divine energy.
Alice says, do y'all live cam in the class like Zoom? Well,
Yes.
Alice, we use StreamYard. That's what I've been using pretty much since I started interviewing people on the channel. I just like it a whole lot more than Zoom. I think it's more dynamic, easier to use. So yeah, we do StreamYard in the class. They're live classes every Saturday. And so Vedgurudev just basically goes through the techniques. Sometimes he talks about yogic philosophy. And throughout the class, you have an opportunity if you want to come up on the stage on the screen and ask a question, or if you want to type it in the comment section, and we address it right there. And then after the class is over, sometimes we'll stay and we'll talk to the students a bit.
Yeah, so tomorrow we do another live class. I think it's our 14th class. So if
Yeah.
you sign up right now, you'll be there for our class tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be live. So you could come on and ask whatever questions you want. I'll demonstrate all the techniques. So if you sign up right now, you'll be ready for the live class tomorrow. And like Chad said, we stream on this exact platform, StreamYard. So exactly how you're seeing us right now, you'll see us tomorrow live in person.
Yeah, and I should add, you don't have to go on StreamYard either. We also provide you the YouTube link, because all of these videos are hosted by YouTube and StreamYard. So if you want to watch the unlisted video, that means nobody can watch it unless our students, I should say nobody can watch it unless you're a student of the school. So you have the choice, either to be on StreamYard with us, or you can watch it anonymously on YouTube at an unlisted link.
Yeah, so if you want to ask a question, you could ask it in the chat on YouTube. You don't have to be seen on screen. You don't have to come up. Or if you want to ask your question live, we could bring you up onto the stage and you can ask it live. It's totally up to you. If you prefer YouTube, you can watch it on YouTube live. Or if you prefer asking your question live on StreamYard, you could do that.
We have a last question here by Lone Wolf, who just jumped in. He's a frequent watcher of my channel. Do either of you like the sun?
Of course. In yoga, the sun is the highest form of the divine light. They call it Jyoti. So we have a song that I sing before I light the yagna, the holy fire, the divine light. And I say, Jyoti, Jyoti, Jyoti Soyam, Jyoti, Jyoti, Jyoti Param. That means we're giving this divine light to God, right? The Jyoti. So they have a song called The Science of Sun Worship, where it basically every morning you worship the divine light, the sun. So we sing songs to the sun, we praise the sun, we see it as the divine light, the highest, brightest form of God. So any day you wake up and you see the sun, put a big smile on your face and say, thank you, God, the sun is out today. It's a beautiful day. Long as the sun comes up, we're in good shape. If there's a day the sun don't come up, we might have a problem. So embrace and love every day the sun comes up. We do
Lone
love
Wolf,
the sun.
Lone Wolf responds, so why are you both so white then? Are we, look, you're wearing white.
I'm
Does
not
your,
too white. I was burned by the sun. I don't know if you, well, you didn't see if you saw the live stream, the holy yagna that we did with the Himalayan priest, the Brahmacharya. I got really burnt, and my skin started to peel because the midday sun was beaming right on top of my head. Even the yogis who are come from India in the hot sun, they had like a towel over their head. So I don't think I'm too white. I should be way whiter, but the powerful Thailand sun has tanned my skin, so I'm not too white. Chad's a lot whiter than me.
yeah, that's true. The lineage of my family. There, if you look at them, their skin is very fair skin. So I have very little melanin in my body, if at all, close to albino. So I basically don't go in the sun very often, and if I do, it's going to be early in the morning or later towards the evening when the sun is not bad. And I don't see. Skip Sharp says Chad wears sunscreen. Generally, I do not wear sunscreen because there's a lot of chemicals on the sunscreen. I don't like to have it on my body. But if I go on a bike ride and it's in the daytime, that's pretty much the only time I will apply sunblock. And I just put a little bit on my face here so it doesn't burn. And I cover up very well. I've become an expert in covering up. So we have one or two more comments, you think, Vedgurudev, or would you like to end the live stream?
Sure. How long have we been on here for now?
2 hours now.
Okay, all right. We could
Doesn't
wrap
feel
it
like
up
it.
soon.
It doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it. You know, I just enjoy some of this. This is a question here. I hope you're not going to be offended, Vedgurudev.
Never offended.
Threshold Moment says, many gurus sleep with the students. I was just wondering if Vedgurudev sleeps with his students.
Well, I have never met my students in person, so that would be physically impossible to ever happen. I don't know what gurus you've ever met, probably zero. So I don't know where you're basing these facts on, probably zero facts. I've never seen a guru sleep with his students, so I don't have any of that experience. And I've met a lot of gurus from all over India, so I've never seen that. Most of these gurus, they've reached the heightened state of what's called brahmacharya. They silence their sexual urges. It doesn't interest them anymore. So anybody tells you these fake ghost stories about gurus, ask them how many gurus they've met. I've met many, and I've never heard a story like this ever. You know? So most gurus don't resonate on this sexual animalistic frequency, so it doesn't interest them. So you have bad information there.
Mm-hmm. Threshold Moment says, Chad, how many black friends do you have? So, you know, to me, I don't discriminate based on anyone's color or culture. For me, it's all about their personality, their energy, how I interact with them. So for me, I could be friends with hundreds of black people, hundreds of Asian people, doesn't matter. I've interacted with so many people. I come from New York, where it's all just a hodgepodge of everyone together. And I've had great Asian friends. I've had great black friends. Some of the best relationships I ever had in my life were with black people. I'm talking girlfriends. I'm talking best friends. When I grew up, I had a friend named Eric Byron. We went to the same elementary and junior high school, and we were just on the same page. We were a bunch of comedians in the school. We were always the class clowns. And I fashioned myself as Gene Wilder, and he was Richard Pryor. I always thought we were kind of like that, you know, from the movie Stir Crazy and all the movies that they were in together. Super funny. Yeah. So right now, I actually don't have many friends. I don't interact with many people, but I have two very good friends. They're both white. And I have a number of people I play tennis with that are black. And so, like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they are. I don't look at people like that. I just look at, like my friend Brian, he's black. I don't look at him as a black guy. I look at him as Brian, you know. So that's how I feel about it. And most of the women I've dated, I was married to an Asian woman, and so is, I believe Vedgurudev is married to an Asian woman too. And most of the women that I've been with have been non-white, so it doesn't matter to me. Let's see if there's any other questions. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to get into it because it's just going to take too long. And we just want to thank everyone for coming on the live stream. We appreciate you joining us all the way to the end. And we may have another one next week, so get your questions ready, or you could always send them in to us. openyourreality@gmail.com is my email address, openyourreality@gmail.com, and we will try to answer them. So, Vedgurudev, I'll leave the last words to you.
Okay, I'll take off my headphones so I can say the prayer.
Okay.
So, we will end this live stream with the Kavacham Shield mantra, giving protection and armor and putting up a shield to all the people out there watching the live stream, protecting them from all negative external influences. Om Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaraha Savadenti Mantra Devata Susena Napala Rakshaka Hayom Pat Swaha. And lastly, we will end with the Shanti, Universal Peace Mantra, giving peace and love to all people all around the world. Om Shanti, 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 Shalom. Sat Nam Sadhu Tao Om Spirit Swami Kami Amen Amen Omen Selah Om Om. Jai Babaji, Jai Babaji, Jai Babaji, Jai Mataji, Jai Mataji, Jai Mataji, Jai Sitas, Jai Sitas, Jai Sitas, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Jai Jai. Peace, peace, peace. Happy, happy, happy. Bliss, bliss, bliss. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.